Hi everybody. So I know it's been a while since I made a video. There's been so much going on and God is so good and I have just so many testimonies, but I've been like writing them down um in my notebook. And what's interesting is I started writing down all this stuff about like being a soldier of the Lord and in the army of the Lord, and I started like writing pages and pages and pages like of different battle strategies and to being a Christian and stuff like that. And I'm like, why am I writing all this? Like, what is it for? Because it was like, I was almost writing in like third person, which is like, I think that's what it is when you like say like and that's not like how I normally write like in a journal. You don't say you like someone's reading your journal. You don't want someone to read your journal. Actually, it's like the opposite of what you want to do. But I just like, okay, this part, right? A soldier that is self controlled while chaos is going on. They have practiced patience and control before those chaotic events, as if they knew something that the people without peace don't or can't without the Holy Spirit. And just on and on, so many things about being like a real Christian. I don't even say real Christian, but being a Christian, like with God, all things are possible. Do we really believe that? Like, all things. It says like all, not like some, like not like one or two things, not like when you're going through this, but when you're not going through that. Like, God is with us all the time. But do we really believe that? Like, I just walk around and I've been doing like, I'm not even gonna like brag, like I've been doing a lot of stuff like to keep me humble, because I'm like, Lord, when I pray for all these people and I have all these words of knowledge and stuff like that, like I want to stay humble. Like, I don't want God to humble me. Like, I want to humble myself because I feel like it'll be way worse if like God humbles me. So I'm like, Lord, so he's like, start picking up the trash like around these different towns. Cause I'm like, man, there's so much trash here. And then I was like, someone should pick this up. And then he's like, why not you? And I'm like, okay. Like, well, the one day it was nice out. And I was like, I'm gonna go for a walk. Like, I didn't even bring my phone. And I didn't know what was ahead for me because I was like, oh yeah, I'm just walking. It's so nice out. It's like a nice day. And this was like maybe 2 weeks ago. And so I started walking and I'm like seeing all this trash everywhere, right? And I'm like, man, there's just trash everywhere. And like, normally you don't have to see that. Like, you don't think about that. You're not like, oh yeah, there's trash over here. And there's like, it's just a normal thing of like life sometimes, right? But those are the things like, kind of like when we walk around and we don't see people's things they're dealing with, or we like have headphones on. Like, I'm talking to myself here too. And like when we don't choose to see certain things, right? So we're like, okay, that's, I have enough stuff in my own life to deal with. Like, I'm not dealing with that, right? So I want to be different. Like, I want to help in ways that so many other people, like even right now, I just got a job at Lowe's. I'm so happy. It's like I'm employed fully. But God has provided, but he wants me there. And like the way I got the job and everything, it was just like, it just like click, 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 click. Like, I thought this one other job was going to be open and it was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to get it. And then like in a totally different field. And then God's like, no. And I'm like, Lord, if it's not of you, like shut the door. And it was like, like he always does that. Like, oh, if I'm not supposed to be with this guy, like, yeah, and I mean it, because I want, God knows my future. God knows everything. God knows like where I should be. God knows like what I should be doing or what's best for me, right? So we always feel like we have to take care of ourselves. Like, oh yeah, especially as an adult and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to do this. But it's like, we're not alone. And how many people feel alone right now? Like, for real. Like nobody sees me. Like, how many people I pray for that it's like, when I ask for words of knowledge and it's like depression and like feeling alone, nobody gets me, and they're like basically crying at the end going, oh my gosh, you got my whole life. Like, and it's not always good. Like, it's like God sends me to people because they need prayer, because they're like messed up too, just like me. And it's not like, oh, and you just got this new job and it's wonderful and you're so happy. Like, no, it's like you feel alone and you're depressed and nobody knows it and you don't talk to anybody else about it. Nobody would even know, like, and they'd be like just weirded out, like young teenagers and everything. They'd be like, that was weird. Like, I just laugh because I'm like, if anything makes sense, take it from God, because like this is about you. I am not going to go home with you. Like, I'm not going to be there with you when you're going through sleep problems at night, or when you're at your job and you want to punch people in the face. Like, and I'm just real with people. Like, I literally just, I'm like real with them. So anyway, I'm trying to like ask God what to say, because there's just so many things, but like, oh man. And he's like, you're gonna write, and I'm getting back to the story, and I'm like, why am I writing all this? And he's like, you're gonna write a book. And I'm like, what? Like, I have writing as my degree, with teaching too, but I never, like, I stopped doing that. And I like to write, and I like to do poetry and stuff, but writing and like being an author and stuff, like, I'm like, God, this is so not me, because like, I would not be like, well, he did tell me years ago, like, you're going to write a book. And I'm like, what am I going to write about? Like, it's like, I'm not like a mystery writer, like nothing cool like that. But I really felt like the church needs, so I go, okay, what am I going to write about, And so he's like, you're going to write a book. And it's called Battle Strategies for the Meek and Humble Warrior. And then the next line is how to stay that way during battle. And it's like, wow, because how many times do we like lose our cool, or like we don't act like Christians because we feel like we can't do it, or like it's not in us. But the whole point is that God is going to help us, like, with whatever we go through. Like, okay, let's say an EMP hits America, right? Like, what's going to happen? People are like, I'm a prepper, we stock up, but it's like, no matter what, you can try to like prepare or whatever, but it's like, if God says he's going to be with us, his grace is sufficient for us. Like, no matter what we go through, he's going to be there for us. Like, literally can meet all of our needs according to his riches and glory. He has unlimited wealth. So like, that's what it means. Like, to his riches and glory, like, he has everything we could possibly need. He has body parts. He has like, I know my arm is coming. Like, I feel it. I know it. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm just telling you, like, maybe one day I'll come on this thing and be like, hey guys, I have 2 arms now. Like, whatever, but maybe that's why he wanted me to make this channel. I have no idea, but I'm just like rolling with him, and I'm just trying to be real, because I need help. I'm sure other people need help. Like, how do we be a real Christian all the time? Jesus did it. He was fully human, fully man, and fully God, but he chose to lay that other part of him down. He had to deal with our emotions just like us. And then when he was on the cross, he literally took every single sin, every single depression, every single thing onto him at once. Past, present, and future sin, everything that anybody would ever go through, he understood. That's why when we come to him, he understands everything that we go through, because he felt it as a human. He had to decide not to kick the devil's butt when he was in the wilderness. He had to decide literally, like, how did he even survive? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did he even physically survive? There's a key there. There's something, because if he says we can do it, like, and then we'll do greater things than him. It says that he did so many things that all the books in the world couldn't fill it. Like, he literally healed sometimes like every person that came to him, thousands of people. Like, we don't hear all those testimonies in the Bible. Like, it's just those things we don't need to know everything, because it's like, there's enough in the Bible that we do see that it's like, okay, yeah, he died in the worst possible way, and he still said, oh, forgive them, for they know not what they do. It's like, who are you? Oh yeah, I know who you are, but who am I? So it's like, and then he gave me this one line. It says, you can't crawl into bed with the devil and not expect to get a weird spiritual STD, spiritually tainted disorder, spiritually tainted disease, or spiritually tainted dysfunction. And it's true. It's like, we want to mess around with the devil. We want to mess around with stuff, and we think like, oh, all right, I'm sorry, God. Like, there's consequences for stuff, So anyway, I don't know how long this video should be, but there's just a lot of testimonies that I'll share in other videos. I have to, because it's just nonstop, and I just want to encourage somebody out there, like, if it can help even one person, again, like what I always say, then it's worth it to me. So I'm going to stop this video now, but I will definitely be back again to make more videos and talk about all the awesome testimonies. I'm trying to write it down in here. And then I found another thing from 12 years ago, like 2 years after I had my son. I started writing down like all these testimonies and everything about like what was going on. And it was the same stuff that he's telling me now about being a soldier, about being like a soldier in his camp, and like all this stuff. Like he's giving me visions, he's giving me like dreams, like everything, you know, see the target, aim and fire, like discipline, discipleship. Like I'm in a discipleship group now because God's like, you need to get the foundation of your spiritual life together. And we do. A lot of times we have to go back to the beginning and be like, why am I Christian? Why do I believe God died for me? Do I really believe that? Do I really believe that? Do I tell people about it? Am I happy about being a Christian? Like, is my life better because I'm a Christian? Like, there's a lot of serious questions that we have to ask ourselves. And it's like, you know, like he gave me this one, like, right, I'm just like reading off, trust the process, training simulation. He's giving me all of these like soldier, like battle strategies, like all this stuff, right? So the military uses training simulators to prepare the soldiers better when the need to react in battle finally occurs. They are better prepared because the simulators allow them to practice, to become more proficient. The simulators allow them to be in a safe environment, so they have to focus on the mission. Simulators make you see, feel, react in the moment as if it were possibly very likely the scenario that they were training for. We can learn to adapt to different situations in life if we ask God for wisdom before the battle, so that when we are literally fighting for our lives, the actions and reactions will become instinctual, hearing God's voice over the chaos. Every moment is an opportunity for growth, being a willing participant for the Lord to use our hands. That's a lot. Like, and that's just like a little bit of what he gave me, you know? Praise God in the middle of your prison. Like, you know, it's just a lot. And I'm like, wow, God, I'm so humbled that you're using me like this. And like, there's a lot of testimonies like all the time. And I'm going out and praying for all the time. And it's not even like bragging. I hope you guys don't see it as bragging, because it's like, it's supposed to like be encouraging, you know, like I'm just nobody, like I'm just a person. And I'm just so grateful for anybody who wants to even listen to me, like subscribed or anything like that, because I know God's telling me like I haven't been taking it as serious as he wants me to, because maybe he's teaching me something that a lot of people need to know about and need help and want to feel connected and want to feel like there's somebody. Like, you guys can message me, like leave comments or whatever, and I could pray for you. If you guys need prayer, like for anything, just ask me, just leave a comment or message. I don't even know if you can really message. I don't even know how that works really. I don't even know how YouTube really works anymore. Who the heck knows with all the stuff they're doing. But anyway, if you want to leave a comment, say, oh, can you pray for this person or whatever, I'll read the comments, and I will take it more serious, because this is a serious thing to me. It's like a spiritual battle that we're in, and we're fighting against stuff every single day. Stuff that we can see, stuff that we can't see. We're fighting on two fronts, okay? There's the natural and the spiritual. We have our natural eyes and our spiritual eyes, right? So we need to get our spiritual eyes and our natural eyes to be one, so that we know what the plan of the enemy is. And guess how I'm learning better and hearing from the Lord even better? I'm reading my awesome Bible that I got, and it's like totally me, because it's like you can color the pages and stuff, and I'm like, yes, that is me. You know, and it has like the things. Yeah. My friend gave it to me. I was like, what? This is like me, a Bible. But anyway, I love you guys, and I really hope that this helps somebody. And if you want me to do certain videos or like have testimonies or say stuff about my life or whatever, just let me know, okay? All right, guys, have a good night. God bless you. And I'm just going to pray, actually. So, God, I just pray for the people right now, Lord, that you will just touch them, God. You will just give them peace, Lord. As they're hearing this, Lord, I pray that they will feel your presence in their house, Lord, wherever they are on their job or anything, Lord. I just pray that you will be with them in the darkness, in the times of despair, Lord, and in the times of praising and of you know, answering testimonies and stuff, God. Let them be on fire. Let them be encouraged, God. In Jesus' name. No matter what the situation is, you can do it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Ha, ha, ha. I feel like that's like a battle cry. I can do all things. All things. All things. Jesus. Jesus. Anyway. All right. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.